Greetings, this is Mr. Caslin. We're going to do a little more SAT prep for math here today. Most of the questions that I get are from SAT Question of the Day. These are put out by College Board, and there's even a smartphone app that you can download onto your smartphone and practice these on a daily or weekly basis. Alright, so this is a word problem. Try not to get word problem paralysis. Word problem paralysis is where I see students, as soon as they see word problem, they just blank out and go, Mr. Caslin, I can't do this. And I notice they haven't even read through the problem yet. So they're just intimidated by word problems. Like everything else in life, just you have to practice a lot of these, and you'll find out converting the words into algebra is not as hard as you think it is, as long as you practice it a lot. Okay. In this question, a woman drove to work at an average speed of 40 miles per hour, and she returned along the same route at 30 miles per hour. If her traveling time was 1 hour, what was the total number of miles in the round trip? Alright, so this is a distance, speed, time problem. If you've never seen this triangle, this is an awesome way to know your math operations when you're dealing with speeds. Okay, the way to read this is, if you're looking for distance, okay, if you're looking for distance, then you would do distance is equal to speed times time. Okay, if you're looking for speed, speed is equal to distance divided by time. Right, and then if you're looking for time, that's going to be distance divided by speed. So this is the nicest triangle. It's a nice way to remember those facts. Alright, so what are we looking for here? We have a total traveling time. So when you're dealing with word problems, total is implying that you probably got something that you're adding together. Total traveling time was 1 hour. So we're basing this equation is going to be based on time. This time plus this time is equal to 1 hour. The time driven to work plus the time driven home from work is equal to 1 hour. Well, since we're dealing with time, well, we can say time is equal to distance divided by speed. That's her distance and speed to work, and her distance and speed home from work is equal to 1 hour. Now let's fill in what we can. What other information did they give us? 40 miles per hour is a speed. So she drove 40 miles per hour to work, and she drove 30 miles an hour home from work. Okay. Common mistake in these type of problems is to think that the time that she spent driving to work is half of the total time, and the other half of the time is the time she drove home from work. Well, the problem is she's driving different speeds. If she was driving faster to work, she's gonna the time to get there was smaller. If she drove slower home from work, well, that time's going to be a little bit larger. So these are not 50-50. All right, but notice we have an algebra equation. We have one variable, so let's solve this algebra equation. Now this problem's got a little bit of everything in it. It's got a word problem. It's got some fractions. A lot of you don't like fraction math, so let's try to get rid of these fractions all in one step. What I'm going to do is multiply everything. I'm going to multiply every term in this equation by the common denominator. The common denominator of 40 and 30 and 1. Remember, this is just 1 over 1. Common denominator of those is 120. Okay, and then essentially what I'm doing by multiplying every term is I'm really multiplying the left-hand side and the right-hand side of both equations by 120. Now, if you have d over 40 times 120 over 1, you can cross cancel. 120 divided by 40 is equal to 3. So d times 3, what you end up with is 3d. Okay, if you multiply 120 times d over 30, the 120 and the 30 cross cancel and you get 4d. Alright, and then the easiest part of this whole problem, 120 times 1 is, well, that's 120. Okay, so now we have an algebra equation that we should be able to solve pretty easily. These are like terms. 3d plus 4d is 7d. 70 is equal to 120. Divide both sides by 7. So D is equal to 120 divided by 7. I believe that's going to be 17.1. If you round it, it stays. If we round to the tenth place, it's going to be 17.1. 17.1 what? Remember, this was based on, we were solving for D, and D is distance, so it's 17.1 miles. Now, I forgot to capture all of the possible answers, A through E, that were on this question. One of the answers was 17.1 miles. Now be careful with SAT questions. You get 17.1, you see that answer on the answer options, and you're like, yes, I'm really confident I got that right. This answer is exactly what was on that. Well, be careful. This is one of those problems where you really have to think about what's going on. You want to fall into their trap. 17.1 is D. Remember, it's the distance that you drove from work or to work. Well, this was to work and this was from work. Okay. Now let's go back to what they were asking for. What was the total number of miles in the round trip? Okay. So really 17.1 represents just getting to work or just getting home from work. You have to double that. You have to add that together or multiply by 2. You're going to get the total number of miles in the round trip was 34.2 miles. So this was not an easy problem. First of all, it's a word problem. Second of all, you got fraction math. And third of all, you've got this piece at the end where you have to really figure out what it is that was asked for. You solve the algebra equation, but the answer to that algebra equation was not the final answer to the problem. Remember, you're looking for the total distance to and from work. I hope this helps. This is a video, so feel free to watch this several times if you need to. Have a good day.